This is the cross up.
This is the cross up featuring. Ooh, that's Uncle Willie's son. Look, Uncle Willie's son in the building. Hey, and you know the boy Big Web. What up, bro?
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Gang, the building.
hey, we brought the gang with us today, man. We got the gang in the building. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves, man. Go ahead, fellas. Go ahead.
What up, what up? It's your boy Hudson, a.k.a. Highway Hudson.
Highway Hudson.
Yes,
the
sir. It's
Ron
your boy
right
LP. Oh, damn.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Go ahead, LP.
My bad. It's your boy LP, straight out of Pontiac, Michigan. What's up?
AKA Nebraska.
402, stand up.
And you got Deron over here, AKA No Red, when I got a little liquor.
Okay.
But, I've been living the dad life, so
Okay.
it's strictly Deron these days. Deron at all times.
He a family
Big
man.
Ron.
He a family man. He a family man.
He a family now.
Hey, man.
No longer in these streets.
Hey, man, it's an honor to have the fellas on the cross up, you know what I'm saying? Since the last dance just ended. They gonna talk a little bit about that. And what else, Derek? What else, Big Wed? What else we talking about, brother?
And today, man, we're talking about the NCAA allowing players to finally get paid. I feel like this is a touchy subject because everybody you see in this video is a former NCAA player at a point in time. So, we want everybody to, I want to know how y'all feel about it because then your boy, Reggie Bush. Well, you know what? I ain't gonna say it. I'm gonna let y'all see what he said, man, because he was talking crazy, and everybody know Reggie Bush history. So y'all go ahead and look at this, man.
As you know, recently supported a proposal that would allow college athletes to sign endorsement contracts and receive payment for other work. It is known as name, image, and likeness. Reggie Bush expressed about that proposal. This was one of the great college stars that we've seen in generations. Now, here's what he said. He said, guidance is the one thing that young athletes coming through the system might miss on so much. I missed on it. They're about to start paying college athletes. This is something that has never been experienced before, and it's going to destroy some people if their foundation is not in the right place. The one thing I wish I had early in my career is proper financial knowledge. I hired good agents and I hired a good team, but I allowed that good team to make decisions for me. I'm not saying I'm going bankrupt, but if I had the proper knowledge back then, some things would be different. Really interesting. And
Man, bro. Now, let's inform everybody of what happened. Reggie had his Heisman Trophy stripped from him for taking improper benefits during his time at USC. He was they went back to back. They lost his Heisman Trophy year. They lost eventually in the NCAA championship. But how are you gonna be against college players taking money when you took money?
Right.
Come on,
That's
man.
why he's against it.
Huh?
That's the reason why he's against it now. I guess he's realizing the wrongs that he did, and he don't want other players to have to go through, kids going through what he went through, getting his Heisman taken, can't walk on campus now.
But the one difference here is it won't be behind closed doors. It'll be legal.
Right. It's legal.
So the kids won't go exactly through what he went through because they're not sneaking around. They can just do it.
It sounds like just from that clip, he's trying to preserve their morals. You know what I mean? Kids these days don't know how to act, with a little bit of money.
So so what morals did he have when he was taking?
That's what I'm saying. That's why he's trying to have kids learn from his mistakes, basically.
Man, what'd you say, Will?
Say, do as I say, not as I do. That's what you're saying, Hudson?
Basically.
That's baloney. It's legal now. It's actually okay to get paid now. So if he was leading by example or he wanted to lead by example, he wouldn't have took no money while he was at USC. But now you're talking about now people gonna be tarnished. Players not gonna have they can start learning it because at the end of the day, who's saying you're gonna make it out of college? College is almost as rigorous as the pros. And you doing all this work and you getting nothing from it. And Reggie Bush, he did all that work, 2,000 yards, all that, and still got paid twice. He got paid at USC and he got paid when he got to the league. Some people might not even get to see that opportunity to get into the league. We know the chances of, making it to the league is slim to none. So why not being able to cash in, especially off a school like USC that's making over $100 million off you, selling your jerseys and you ain't seeing no profit from it?
I'm personally with you, but I really don't understand the point that Reggie Bush is trying to communicate. He mentioned he doesn't feel that it's right that they can get paid, but at the same time, he's mentioning they're not mentally right now as far as knowing finances and things like that. It's hard for me to bash him because I don't really know his point. It's not really a clear point at this moment. I understand from a standpoint of, wanting them to, be financially smarter, but you gotta learn somewhere. If they learn that before they get to the pros, they might be better off.
Right. And my question is, is he saying what he's saying out of, envy because he understands that these kids are about to get paid, why? They about to get bread, you know what I mean? So is he, saying it, trying to – I don't know. What is the real reasoning behind what he's saying?
I don't think he's envious of these kids. I think it's more or less, he don't want kids, like I said, to – I mean, I don't know how much they're going to get paid, but you don't want them, you pay this kid, he's a freshman, X amount of dollars, and he goes off and do something stupid and don't even, complete his first year or, mess his drafts you can't give kids coming out of high school, so much money. It's not going to work out for most of these kids.
But you can make $100 million off of them, though.
You can. I don't know how it's actually going to work, but I would say, you can get them paid, or you can just put it in an account where they can't really touch all of it. You know what I mean?
Hudson, I'm right there with you, Hudson. I think they should be getting this money, but you don't dump, six figures on a kid. You put that in a trust, and you give them enough to live. You think about it. Right. We were broke at college. Gas costs money. If you wanted to eat off campus, that costs money. Man. You couldn't take a girl on a date. I think they should give them a little something, but that money should go in a trust where they don't touch it until they're done playing football.
Let's get it correct. The NCAA is not paying them. They're allowed to make money off endorsements, off their name. They can't promote the school. They can only promote themselves. So a player, for example, like a Zion Williams, he would have made bread just off his name alone.
It's off of likes. You know what I'm saying? It's if your social media booming, if you got a good fan base, you got a good following, then that's the person that they're gonna want to endorse. That's the person they're gonna want to get the money to. So it's about likes, man.
I think what we're missing here is y'all forget the fact that these players can't even have a YouTube channel. You're a D1 player, you can't even use your wits and stuff to make money off a YouTube channel. So to get paid for YouTube.
That don't mean you're not profiting off of some of those, though. That don't mean you're not on the,
Right. What I'm saying, that's what at least that rule allows that for, the lower tier players. And for the higher tier players, you got to think when you turn, it's tennis players that's making multi-million-dollar. So what's the difference between an 18-year-old doing that? There's 16-year-old tennis players doing that. I think Reggie Bush forgets the demographic that he's affecting most with this. He's from Southeast San Diego, where there's gang violence and stuff like that. So you're telling me if I'm 18, I'm a 5-star recruit in the country, you don't want to pay me money to, make your college blow up, which these players is Duke. I get Duke helped Zion, but Zion helped Duke also. That brand that made people watch every game that he was involved in.
Don't be talking greatly help Duke, Duke ain't already got that.
I mean, but then let's think about it. Let's think of a Lamar Jackson. We never really paid attention to Louisville football until Lamar won the Heisman. And they made all that money to buy uniforms and all that stuff. And he didn't see a penny of that. Not a penny. So we talking about, dumping all that money onto a young kid where only thing they're doing is waiting a year or two to get that money dumped on them in the league. So what's the difference? And they got to work twice as hard.
Going off more what you're saying, Webb, like, how can you tell that 18-year-old kid, like, oh, since we didn't pay you before, but now we're going to put the money up in a certain way, you take lump sums, or you can't access this money until you reach the league. I'm bringing likeness to your school. I'm bringing fans to your school. I'm selling jerseys.
Y'all know who started this, right? Hey, big ups to the boy LeVar, man. I'm gonna say shout out to the boy LeVar.
Well, look, he didn't start it, but he definitely got it running.
He impacted the league, and yes.
He poured the gasoline on this topic.
Yes,
for sure.
And we appreciate him for that.
Being a father, man. I love his energy. I love what he's doing, and I wish I had, you know what I'm saying, that kind of support, when I was hooping back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes too much.
Man, too much support. Who you telling? He's got Jello convinced that he's good at basketball. Come on.
Come on.
Decide to Rock Nation?
Yeah, they did sign Triple B. All three of them signed Rock Nation.
Well, of course, you don't get nobody. You don't get LaMelo if you don't pick up all three. That's what it is.
So what you saying? He the best one out of all three?
Yes,
I agree.
Right now, probably not.
Hey, we'll see.
I give Lonzo's better than Melo.
I think Lonzo still has another breakout year. He was breaking out this year a little bit, so I will hold off on that.
Well, since we talk about basketball, fellas, man, y'all know we're getting excited about the NBA coming back. But did y'all see how they talking about doing the playoffs? There's no East and no West Conference. Yeah. The top 16 teams will be seeded, and then they go 1-16, 2-15. I sent y'all the picture. What y'all think about that?
Not a fan.
Nah, I'm gonna put the photo up.
Hold on. Deron, why you not a fan?
Listen, just like everybody else, I'm ecstatic about the potential of the NBA returning. Like, we're supposed to be watching playoff basketball right now. So I'm excited just about the idea of them coming back. But I wish they just leave it Eastern Conference, Western Conference.
It's going to be an asterisk.
Being a Bucks fan, I saw that bracket, and we got the Clippers on our side of the bracket.
That's what I was waiting for. That's what I was waiting for.
So what I don't want is for, some type of conspiracy thing to happen where LeBron can waltz his way to the finals, and then the Bucks and the Clippers tire each other out and then go and play the Lakers and get smashed. I'm not really.
But Brian got some tough matchups too. If you look at it, Brian had Brooklyn with
got Toronto over there too, right?
KD and Kyrie could possibly play. So let's say they beat Brooklyn. Then they got Houston.
Small ball Houston. Are you serious?
Duran, did you see when the Lakers played Houston? How they was getting into the Lakers' ass?
But did you see how much momentum the Lakers built when they played us? That didn't look like the same Lakers team that we beat earlier in the season.
But honestly,
2 months later now, what? That momentum gone.
It sounds like that you want the Bucks to walk to the finals and let the Clippers and Lakers tire each other out so y'all can get a good championship.
No, honestly, what it is personal. I want to knock Toronto out, and I want Drake to cry, and I want to laugh.
Oh, my God. Somebody holding on hurt from last year.
Hey, first of all, shout out Drizzy. Don't mind my boy. He apologized. But I like what's fair. It's not fair because if I knew it was a 16, seeded playoff, maybe I would have, pushed these 10 games harder, or I would have slowed down these 10 games. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm the 4th seed, maybe I want to get away from the 4th seed so I meet the Lakers into, maybe I don't want to be on this side of the bracket. Maybe I want to fight to this side of the bracket. So you don't give teams a chance to, push and pull to where they want to be in seeding, which does happen in the NBA season. But it's much harder with 16 teams, so you got to manage that a lot more. Right. I feel like that's not fair, and you're just springing it on people.
But if you look at it, this is the perfect opportunity to try and experiment with stuff because don't remember, they talking about doing all these games at, Orlando, Walt Disney. So, why not go to the NCAA style tournament, bracket? Why not?
I think
experiment with it this year, you know what I'm saying? If it's a success, maybe it'll be more of a push next year. If not, go back to the old way. This is the time where the experimental trial is really, should be given a push with the way they're gonna bring the season back.
They're doing it with the NFL, so
that's what I'm saying.
I do think sometimes we underestimate professional sports and obviously, just how we're brainstorming on this, they probably got 1 million people that's worked for them brainstorming on the same thing. Just like when we first saw the All-Star game thing, we were like, man, what the hell is this? And look how that turned out. That's the best All-Star game I've ever seen. So
right. Go ahead, Will.
So I was trying to say before, but I was really interrupted by ALP over here trying to get his points across. I was trying to
And another thing, if you think LeBron James
But no, for real though, it kind of change or take away from the whole regular season, like Pat was saying. You play the whole regular season kind of positioning yourself to be a 1 seed, 2 seed, whatever it is. And all of a sudden in the playoffs come, all of a sudden they're like, I forget everything you was doing to position yourself where you want to be. Now you got to play teams from East and West. And on top of that, you got scheduling with that. The East play more against Eastern Conference teams throughout the year and the West play the West. Now all of a sudden it's the regular season don't matter. Versus if you start that in the new year and be like, all right, this year we're going to try something different. Instead of having you play your division X amount of times and only seeing maybe for the Bucks, for instance, how many times y'all play the Lakers, Duran?
Once Twice.
Playing them twice. Next year we're going to do the 16-game tournament style. Y'all play them 4 times next year. To give it more – Duran shaking his head. To give it more –
No, but there's a reason behind it. When they do these schedules, they keep travel in mind, which is why you don't see Portland playing Orlando 3 times a year.
Right, East and West. That's what I'm saying. But if you have a regular season set up where you play teams in the East and West even amount of times as you can, versus you playing everybody on the East 3-4 times, and you playing people on the West 2 or 1 time as an Eastern Conference team, then that's gonna make your seeding a little bit more even if you're gonna go to this tournament style versus just springing it in the middle of a season when you okay, as Milwaukee, I'm the 1 seed. I'm looking at the 8 seed in the East, and all of a sudden I got a team from out West in the first round. Okay, that 8 seed gonna be stronger than our 8 seed.
That's been the biggest thing, though. That's been the biggest complaint about NBA basketball anyways, that the Western Conference has always been the stronger conference. So, you know what I'm saying? It's a time for the Eastern Conference to put up or shut up, or it's a time for the Western Conference to dominate.
That's my point, though, Webb. What I'm saying is if you're going to do that and you want to just mix them in, do that next year, start fresh. It's like running a game of 21. Now all of a sudden it's 19. Now is it 1 by 2? No, you should have said that before the game started.
Right.
That's going to change
Agreed.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? If we know coming into it that, okay, it's going to be tournament style, then I could like Pat said, I could rest certain games and go harder during the last stretch because I know I don't want to see that team out West.
All right, so let me ask you this. What happened if they give y'all what happened if the NBA give teams 15, 20 games before the playoffs start?
I'm not trying to see that many games.
No.
I'm not trying to see no regular season games. Just jump into the playoffs.
Agreed. If you want to do a few games, maybe a play-in tournament where you got, teams that were in the hunt, maybe that, but regular season, scrap it. That's done.
Because it don't make no sense to have the 29th and 30th team in the NBA still playing ball right now, and they're not going to make it.
Exactly. Let them enjoy their vacation.
We're trying to limit how many people going to these 2 cities, right? So why would we have 30 teams split up going to 2 cities? Why not just have them 16 teams? Go, you cut the amount of people I have just by doing that.
Right.
I ain't trying to see no.
Honestly, do y'all think they ready to come back right now? Do y'all think it's too soon for them to be back right now?
I think that's why they need. That's why they need some tune-up games. I think that was the whole thing about the tune-up games. But I just don't. I don't get it. I don't think they should. They shouldn't do the 16 seed playoff thing. It's already tainted. It's already asterisked by the season because of the coronavirus.
Right.
So now, if this thing fails, y'all put another asterisk, so it's double asterisk, and you just tainted a whole championship.
Right.
Now, whoever wins that championship, let's say, it be
like
Brooklyn.
Who really wants to win this year? Who really thinks like?
It's always gonna be somebody saying something about this.
I disagree. They'll, you can put an asterisk by the Spurs championship, the year we played 66 games after the lockout. There's no asterisks on this. People are gonna remember that you won. They're not gonna remember everything that came with it.
Oh, it's definitely asterisks on that because I think the Heat won that, didn't they?
No, the Spurs won that.
Spurs won that.
Nobody brings it up either.
I thought it was the
Nobody
Heat that
brings
won.
it
That's
up.
why I thought they say LeBron got an asterisk by one of his championships.
You got to take it back, bro. You got to take it back to like 99.
That was after Jordan.
That was another one.
Yeah.
That was season after Jordan retired.
Yeah.
Oh, you saying the Spurs won 1999? That one.
They were saying that was Mike and them could have won 7 on the year with the veterans.
Yeah.
What year was that, Will?
99.
Okay, yeah.
There was another lockout. Remember? And then
that was the most recent with Miami. You're talking about.
Miami, and then Miami won that. People talk about that all the time too. So it's already actually by it, and they're gonna add another one. They're gonna be like, oh, and there was a 16-seeded playoff, and then you have to do that for the rest of the NBA history because if you change it back to regular next year, it's gonna be
right.
No, because when you make the the GOAT debate, they talk about LeBron has 3 rings. They don't say he's got 2 and there's 1 with an asterisk.
Right.
They counted rings.
Right.
It really doesn't matter.
Yeah, but listen, but rings weigh. Come on now. Hakeem Olajuwon got 2 championships. Do you think anybody talk about those 2 championships?
They talk about Jordan rings. They talk about those.
They do? Why? What's the first thing they say when they say Hakeem Olajuwon won back-to-back championships? What's the next
Jordan wasn't in the league.
The next sentence that comes after.
It ain't no asterisk.
Hey, let's say Milwaukee Bucks won the 2020 championship. You know that 16-seeded playoff during the when we had coronavirus? Like, what? Like, it's already an asterisk by it. It's already going to be coronavirus. Then you're going to say, oh, and they did a 16-seeded playoff that they probably don't even do anymore because I can't see.
So what do you want, Pat? You just want the can this season, no 2020 champion?
Especially if the Bucks don't win again after this season if they win the 2020.
Right, exactly. Then it'd be super tainted.
Everybody, that was a fluke.
But all right, fella. Like Will was saying, he transitioned and talking about The Last Dance. I want to know what y'all think about, we had y'all on the last episode or 2 episodes ago, put you on notice. And I want to know how y'all feel about The Last Dance now. How do y'all feel about the ending? What do y'all think about the speculations as far as Jordan lying and all of that jazz? Let me know. How y'all feel about The Last Dance?
Sounds like he's a liar.
I'm going to go last.
Will?
I think, I don't know. Jordan was under a lot of pressure, I feel like you can block the hate out easier these days. So LeBron,
Daryl.
So LeBron doesn't have to open up his Twitter and see all the hate. Like Jordan had people writing about him every single day, in the news every single day. Whereas LeBron is learn from that what Jordan had to go through and learn to hide his life more. So I feel like he had a harder journey trying to keep that stardom. So I gained a lot more respect for him than I had.
I disagree with that statement, though, before somebody else go. I do want to say, you just said LeBron had Twitter and stuff and Jordan didn't. I think now social media is more they're pests. You know what I'm saying? It's everywhere. You don't have no privacy because of all the cameras and stuff now, because of all the access to social media.
I'm saying you see I think you look at the difference of how people approach a superstar back then and how they approach him now. When LeBron walks out of a hotel in Cleveland or Miami or LA, that whole hotel is sealed off. Maybe they can see him right as he get on the bus. Look at that whole documentary. Michael Jordan's walking down the streets, people grabbing at him. People, as soon as he comes off the court, there's people there. As soon as he comes out of the locker room, it's much more designed now to give the athlete more privacy because they actually like there's more media that they can put out themselves and they can put out their own media. Look how long Jordan had to wait to put out his own stuff to finally tell his story after all them people talked about his dad and all that stuff. So,
hey, Pat, I really do feel your point, but I got to say, there is nothing worse than the social media era. Man, they threaten your mom, your kids. They don't care. And in addition, can you think if Dennis Rodman had a Twitter? Can you think, like, if he had social media back then when he was doing all that crazy stuff? Like, we thought he was crazy, it would have been another level.
So I'm going to agree on both sides. I get what Pat's trying to say in the sense of Jordan was kind of the first of like that superstar athlete to that level where his life was just always under the microscope. And even though today I do agree that social media allows people to have more access to our superstars, but they're able to learn from what people before them did. So Jordan being kind of that first person in the media eye as much as he was on a day-to-day basis, he was kind of going through it with no examples in front of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, Magic life wasn't really out in the forefront. Bird life wasn't out there. So it wasn't like when Jordan came into the league, it was like he was that first kind of iconic figure where they was just on his heels everywhere he went. So I see both sides of that point.
Right.
My thing, though, back to this Lion statement or whatever, to me, that's not news. Like, they've been showed this. It's just resurfacing now because of the documentary. So I don't know why Isaiah Thomas acting like he's so hurt about it when this was already released before. Like, the man lied. Okay, cool, whatever. You didn't play on the Dream Team. You knew why you didn't play on the Dream Team.
What? You got something to say? Huh?
I'm letting Will finish.
My only point is, like, the fact of what Jordan said about not playing, that's already been put out there. But it's just being, like, almost re-released in a sense because of the documentary and everything that's going on. So now it's news all over again. So my only point really is that Isaiah Thomas knew this. But he acting like this brand new.
I think Zeke is mad because Jordan was saying that who did he say he didn't want to play with? Magic, was it?
He didn't want to play with Zeke.
No. Jordan was saying that it was Magic who said he didn't want to play with Zeke.
Are you talking about the lie?
Yeah. And I think Zeke was mad because it was like, no, it was you who said, you know what I'm saying, you didn't want to play. Or you didn't want me to play on the Dream Team.
What I'm saying is he knew that already. That's not new to him.
Yeah, but no, he was just mad. He was mad that Jordan lied on his documentary saying that
I got a question.
It wasn't him that didn't want him to play when in reality it was.
Was Chuck Daly the head coach of the Dream Team?
Yes. Yeah. His head coach.
That makes it even worse.
His head coach.
That makes it even worse.
He can't really decide who's on the team or not.
That's crazy. Coach K's handpicks his.
You the head coach and you can't bring one player with you to the Dream Team?
Thank
Coach
you.
K handpicks
politics, man.
You can't bring the guy that won you 2 rings?
Politics, man. You want to keep the bigger superstars happy.
Ain't no politics with that. Coach K handpicked the Dream or the Redeem teams and all the U.S. teams they play on. If you the coach, you got some say so. And when that's your guy that's won you rings, if you really wanted him,
Redeem team was the best of the best. You really no handpicking. You just really wanted.
Okay, this sounds like it's turning into a LeBron Jordan debate.
No,
I wasn't even thinking about LeBron.
Here you go, Duran. Here you go.
But he just said it. He said the Redeem team was better than the Dream Team.
Hold on. Y'all, I think y'all forgetting where the Olympics was at. They was trying to regain popularity. All Michael Jordan had to say is, I'm not playing if Isaiah's playing. That obviously they could have won a gold medal with some other players in the NBA that year. They also did to gain back their popularity. So we need Michael Jordan, the most popular player in the world, to play. And if he say that he don't want one person on the team, then that one person not playing. We're going to win it regardless. Exactly. So he didn't have to say, just say, hey, I'm not playing if he's playing. Well,
a bruising your power, huh?
Right.
Hey. Stroking your ego, right?
Is it though when you feel like you've been attacked by these dudes all your career, where you feel like you've been personally attacked by them, physically abused by them?
Hold on.
Like when you got an opportunity to like make a statement like, no.
I want to hear what Webb got to say. Go ahead, Webb.
So, on your argument, you saying being personally attacked, whatever, but didn't in that documentary he thanked Detroit for making him go into go back into training camp to get stronger, to get prepared. Which he said Detroit made him a better player than what he is now. Like, if we respect the rivals, you know what I'm saying? He respected Chuck because Chuck pushed him to a point in the finals. He respected Bird. He respected Detroit. So why all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, it's a problem to the point where you don't want to play with Isaiah and you gave him praise.
So you telling me every opponent you win against, they can make you better, but you can't have no personal distaste against them?
And because I respect you don't mean I gotta like you, nigga. You crazy. Like
think about in the documentary. Jordan said specifically, Isaiah Thomas is the greatest point guard outside of Magic Johnson. That's showing your respect for him. I may not like you, but I still respect you in your game. I know what you can do.
Hello?
So I'm gonna keep you off a team because I know you good. I know you the top point guard second, whatever. But I'm gonna keep you off because I don't like you.
Listen.
He was never on the.
You didn't kick him off, bro.
Okay, if he comes, I'm not playing.
Okay, you can't.
That's the abuse of your power. All you had to say was, I don't have nothing to do with that. I play with whoever y'all is. I'm here to represent my country. Blah 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 blah. But you throw out the line saying I'm not playing. If he playing,
hold on. This is the reason why Jordan was mad. Basically, Isaiah beat him. Cool. Send me back home. I went to go work out. Isaiah beat him again. Cool. Send me back home. After every series, he went up to Isaiah and them like, man, good series. Even after they fouled him, calling him soft, he went back every series, shook their hand. Now, when he finally goes and beats them, he like, man, these dudes gonna be, proud of me, or these dudes gonna give me some play. Like, man, I finally beat y'all. Y'all still up 2-1. Y'all walk off the court before it's done. You know what I mean? He's a competitor. Like, a true competitor really wants, like, that's what a true competitor wants.
And he didn't get his validation, I'm gonna hurt him in other ways.
That's how much Michael Jordan loved the game of basketball. He felt like that was such a disrespect to the game itself to not show that respect to your competitor. If I'm shaking your hand 2 years in a row after you just put me out, I finally put you out. I should have earned your respect, and you do the most disrespectful thing and walk off the court.
Right.
I can't mess. I can't mess.
Like when he walked off when Orlando beat him.
Well, what?
Like when he walked off the court and didn't shake nobody's hand when Orlando beat him.
Is that inside information? I didn't hear that.
Remember that?
I don't know if that's confirmed.
He wasn't even on the Last Dance.
I've seen that footage.
Right. Where do you get that info from?
Footage at?
If you right. or send it, we can talk about it, but I ain't never seen or heard that.
All I'm saying is this Last Dance.
Is it real? Come on. Wait, is that a real one? You made that up just to make it.
I ain't got time to look it up, but I was definitely
did he think we're all just gonna agree with that? Like, oh yeah, you're right.
I ain't got time to send it. But I will definitely send it in our group, boy. But let me sum all this up.
Let's wrap this up.
As a competitor, I have gained respect for Jordan. Yes, like I knew he was a competitor, but I didn't know to a certain extent of what type of competitor he was. Like how he pushes teammates in practice. You know what I'm saying? Going out and want to kill people, the self-motivation and all that. I didn't know. I wasn't into his psyche like that. As a person, I can't respect him. From the Isaiah situation, from the Scottie situation, from the Steve Kerr situation, the Steve Kerr and Tony Kukoc situation.
From the Chameleonaire situation, Chameleonaire.
We ain't gonna talk about that. But these are all examples of somebody abusing, you know what I'm saying, their power of being, globally known and all that. Starting with Isaiah, we already talked about Isaiah. Scottie, it's one cardinal rule. I don't care if you in football, basketball, you never count a man's pockets or what he does to get his money. I don't know why Jordan couldn't understand that, but Steve Kerr understood it.
He didn't do that.
Steve Kerr and Phil Jackson understood it because they knew he was not being paid right. But in Jordan's mind, as a competitor, hey, man, you got to come help me win this 6th ring. It's all about this legacy. It's all about this. I ain't talking about my money, though. Let me finish, guys. I waited to go last for a reason.
I'm talking to
Secondly, thirdly, my bad, thirdly, the bullying of Steve Kerr. Come on, man. You
the smallest guy on the team.
The smallest guy. You wasn't doing that shit to Dennis. You wasn't doing that shit to Charles Oakley back in 91 or 90 when you
Oakley.
You know what I'm saying? When they was in there snorting coke and all that, when you dry spit, you wasn't doing that then. When you went down, now all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? It's a sticker. You want to
snapping.
You want to go and beat up on Steve Kerr. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. It's a thin line between, you know what I'm saying, pushing your teammates and then abusing your power. And with you being one of the most powerful athletes on the planet, you know what I'm saying, I feel like he went a little overboard with it. Like I said, I respect him as a competitor completely. And still and in my heart, I'm still gonna tell you, he's still two. He's still two in my book, but that's another discussion. So
in conclusion, fuck Michael Jordan. Josh Mike.
So what?
Basically.
So what?
Y'all both better stop. How much y'all spend on shoes?
Where? So with all that being said, right? So you said you love his competitive nature, right? But then you down him for going at current practice. Have you not ever gotten into a fight with one of your teammates at practice? Because y'all competing and y'all trying to push each other?
He strategically picked out the smallest guy.
No.
But you gotta do that
because you've been in some fights in practice before. We can pull the tape.
In practice, and you know what?
Like me
you right about you see how much character they got. Okay, he stood up. We can go to war now. That's what that is. That ain't I'm trying to punk you. That's okay. I'm competing. You competing.
And you can't say you don't understand that from an athlete point of view.
You can't you got to keep that same energy with everybody.
You can't tell me you ain't never got into no tussle with no O-lineman and nothing in no football practice, and y'all have to squabble it out. And then, hey, if he show you some heart, y'all got respect. Y'all shake hands and y'all move on. Now y'all can go to war together.
So so you telling me if I'm bringing outside issues into practice, and then I still off on the littlest dude on the thing, and I tell him, oh yeah, you know, since we had our little squabble, it's cool. Like that's showing me you're not a true leader. That's showing me you can't separate real life.
Wait, let me ask you this. What is your point? What is your point?
Y'all don't get it? The point is fuck Michael Jordan, apparently.
I'm gonna keep going. Wait. The Scotty piece of it, well, I don't know if we ever actually had a chance to talk about it, or we did a little bit, but I don't think you still get the point. When he called Scotty selfish, it had nothing to do about the money. This is knowing.
It was about the rings.
Tom, I'm addressing your point, Wade. So when Michael Jordan said Scotty was selfish, you keep talking about him counting his money. He never counted his money. He never said Scotty didn't deserve the money. Scotty, don't go try to renegotiate. It was Scotty saying, I'm not having my surgery when I'm supposed to have it this summer because I don't want to mess up my summer. But then yet you're going to jeopardize the last season that we know we playing together and going to get a ring. And you come back at midway through the season and then you hurt in the playoffs that could be due to your conditioning level. And you jeopardize a chance of getting this 6th ring because you didn't want to have your surgery when you could have had it. You intentionally put it off for months at a time.
Well, hold on. It wasn't. Well, his reason wasn't just for not fucking up his summer. He said, "I'm not having the surgery because 1, I don't want to fuck up my summer, and 2, I'm getting prepared for my next contract."
But the longer you wait to have your surgery, that doesn't align with that. Because you could be rehabbing all summer, getting ready for the season, versus rehabbing in the beginning of the season, then trying to force yourself to come back in playoff time. That don't align with that.
But it aligns with my paper though.
Real reasoning for
they still have to pay me. I'm still getting my money. I'm getting whatever money that they need to give me, and I'm preserving my body. Why doesn't that align?
So you wait another 3-4 months to have a surgery. That's pushing back your recovery time. That's pushing back your chance to go get on the court and solidify your next contract. That's hurting your
paid regardless. I'm gonna get my big contract.
All right. Let's wrap this up, man. Daryl, I don't know where you go.
I got one more thing to say.
Yeah.
Sick of it, man.
We're just looking for reasons to hate on Jordan, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like the man, you don't like him. That's understandable.
I gave him his props. I gave him his props.
As long as you
wait. I just think the Last Dance, like, he had 10 episodes. Last Dance was 10 episodes, right?
Yep.
He had 10 episodes. Everybody knew how I love to see the inside stories. I love to see, like, I thought he was a better player after watching the documentary. But man, he had 10 episodes to show what everybody thinks is his only fault is like being a good human. Like he had 10 episodes to show me, hey, you've been donating to some secret charity your whole career, or you've been taking care of this, you've been taking care of that. The whole episode, I'm just waiting on it. Like, man, I know he's doing something, but I didn't see anything. He had a chance to endorse a black mayor or a black governor in his hometown to get someone out that was racist. Didn't do it. And then when they asked him about it, even to this age of what's going on now in this era, he still was like, I'm just a basketball player and stuff like that. Like, man, you got to realize, like, the responsibility comes with like being that. Like, who supported you through your whole career?
You can't put that pressure on somebody. You can't say
you can
how stand in the political light because you feel that their influence could change so much. Like, you can't put that on them. Because if this man was never in that, if this was never something that he believed in, this was never something that he stood for, never something that he spoke out about, why should he do it all of a sudden because of, the situation that was at hand? Like, why should he do it then? Like, I don't agree with that. And I don't think that, I agree with how he handled it. I think he handled it in a respectful way. He still gave money towards the cause. He still, helped profit or help benefit them in some way, but he did not want to be that forefront. And I'm not mad at him for that.
I'm not mad at him for what he did then.
But Pat,
okay? I'm not mad at him. I'm still mad at, like, what is he doing now?
Pat, I think that goes back to your original point, at least back then, of kind of having to go through it. And then you got the athletes now saying, okay, Jordan didn't really say nothing, such and such didn't say nothing. We got this platform, we got to use it. So I think a lot of people today have learned from that. So, I mean, I definitely think people who got that platform should use it. But you can't, like, say, we don't even know what his beliefs are. His beliefs could be counter to what we believe in. Right. And then it actually might do some more harm than what we, if he do speak out.
Hello?
Hey, Pat, I truly do feel you, but, even though somebody's on this platform and should take on that responsibility, it may not be really in their character. But you got to commend Jordan because he put his money where his mouth was as far as a lot of these things that he believed in. There's no episode 11 and 12, but when he played for the Wizards, he donated his whole salary to the 9/11 efforts. And not many people talk about this or notice it, but he does do little things here and there. I wouldn't even call it little. I'm just saying. I don't donations. He doesn't necessarily voice out that he did something.
Right, which is my whole point. I don't doubt that he's donated some money to some charity or like help people out. I think it's just a bigger part of, like, he's probably the only player from this era that could still, like, if he wanted to go grab a news and a camera crew, was like, I got something to say, he would still have just as many followers as he did back then tuning in. So he still has that voice. Forget all the, when he was in the 90s, he didn't say that. I'm talking about now, like all this stuff that we have on now. There's some stuff, like, not bringing up nothing, but something just happened yesterday that was tragic, that could still be talked about.
Hey, man, I know we about to get out of here, but first we gonna say what's up to the boy Lolo. The boy Lolo just jumped in the building, man.
Lolo, you outside. Ain't going outside today.
What up, bro?
That's the dad look.
Oh, he definitely got that dad look.
He got the
hair. Turn the volume up. Turn the volume up.
All in the face.
Hey, man. All right, y'all. Before we get y'all out of here, fellas, hey, share y'all social media if y'all want for the people so they can, continue to follow y'all and hear what y'all got to say about this sport-ish.
You can follow me at Antonio_Hudson on IG and then Antonio Hudson on Facebook.
Okay. LP.
This LP. Follow me on Twitter at Coach Johnson P _, Coach Football. Go Muskie.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Norway.
And I am off the grid. Can't follow me nowhere.
There you go.
Nowhere.
Dads be like.
Hey, it's definitely much love having them, man. Even though Lolo, he here, but he ain't really here.
He gonna take about 8 selfies on Facebook with that one.
Man.
Uh,